amazing record against Everton. Many a time I've thought, oh, Harry Kane, and then he goes and fires a bracing against Everton. I thought, oh, Harry Kane. Yeah, I'll go with me first because I've sort of talked about what I'm going to be doing. So my team is Foster in goal. Oh dear, against Chelsea. I've got Bolly, Alexander Arnold, and Aurier at the back. I'm happy with that. Pulisic, Fernandez with an S, and Salah and De Bruyne in the midfield of 3-4-3. Salah captaincy for now. Calvert-Lewin, Jimenez, and Aubameyang up top. Now Aubameyang's probably going to become Rashford, but he may become Harry Kane. I might consider something a bit more drastic involving a hit. I'm not sure, in which case I might bench Calvert-Lewin. I've already got Fernandez with a Z being benched against West Ham. I think that's a good fixture for Newcastle defensively, but it's also a good fixture for West Ham attackingly, so I can't really call that, but I could get some points there on the bench. And Cantwell at home to Brighton. I'm reluctantly benching him as well. I think my bench is fine this week, so I don't mind a bit of rotation here or there. I've got some players to come in, but yeah, probably Rashford. I think I'm going to go for a shield move. So Andy, let's move on to your team then. So it sounded like you're thinking of something a bit more exciting. I'll just run through the team. You got Foster, you got Sace, Alexander Arnold, Maguire, Fernandez with an S, Martial, De Bruyne, Salah with the captaincy so far, Calvert-Lewin, Jimenez, and Nketiah up front, and on your bench McCarthy, Taylor, Hayden, and Egan. So yeah, you were thinking of something a bit more extravagant than me.
Yeah, I'm in major overthinking mode right now. I think I'll probably play Taylor ahead of Sice actually this week. So I'm going to bench my Wolves defender, which is a little bit risky, but it is Arsenal. And Taylor's playing Sheffield United, who have not looked good for scoring. And obviously that would at least cover another bloody Pope clean sheet as well. So I'm thinking of doing that. And captaincy, I've got it on Salah, but I told myself before this game week even started, I wasn't going to captain a Liverpool player for the rest of the season to try and be a bit different. And the fact that Bournemouth just conceded 4 to Newcastle, I've got to put it back on a Man United player. The problem is I flip-flop between the two. So do I now keep it on Martial or do I go back to Fernandez? Bearing in mind I've got that combination wrong the last 2 weeks. So that is going to go right down to the wire. My gut feeling is to keep it on Martial. But Fernandez has got such a range of ways to get points. He probably is the one it should be on. So I'll decide that later. And so transfer is a bit more interesting. So I've basically got a free transfer, a 4-point hit, and an 8-point hit on my mind. So free transfer, I can literally just do Hayden to Mahrez. I've got that power 5 midfield I spoke about. Jimenez and Calvert-Lewin playing every game, and Nketiah gets benched for the foreseeable future, basically, because I just don't know when he's going to start. And Arsenal's fixtures aren't great going forward. Like Wolves, although I'm going to bench Sice, I'm not necessarily expecting Nketiah to get anything. The 4-point hit, Calvert-Lewin to Jesus. And I could just leave it at that, go 4-4-2, play Nketiah or whatever. But I'd probably do Hayden to Foden. So then I'd have 3 Man City players, Jesus, De Bruyne and Foden, as well as 3 Man United. And really just go for it. But my only worry is Jesus is just more expensive than Mahrez, and I'm not sure he's a better option. And he hasn't really looked like he's fired so far. But I do expect him to get almost as many minutes as Mahrez for the rest of the season. Or I shift around a bit, 8-point hit, Maguire to Van Dijk, Calvert-Lewin to Greenwood. That would free up my Man United third slot. And then still bring in Mahrez or Pulisic in the midfield 5. So I'd still be playing 3-5-2, apart from I'd have double Liverpool defence and triple Man United attack, and still have Mahrez, or maybe Pulisic I'm thinking about as well. So yeah, I don't know which of those 3 I'm going to go. -8 to remove Maguire, who's got 6 clean sheets and 8, sounds a bit like something I shouldn't do.
Don't do that. Just don't. I'm not even going to argue. So just don't. I'm not going to give you a reason. Just don't do it.
But it goes back to what I was saying. Like I've kind of forced transfers too many times this season and recently, where I actually think probably just getting Mahrez in for free and just playing Calvert-Lewin again is probably just the way to play it.
Yeah.
But the fact I could get Jesus and Foden does tempt me a little bit. I'm going to try and second guess Pep after this Liverpool game, which is an absolute stupid thing to do. We're all waiting for the lineup tonight, and we're all going to make decisions based off it, and he's just going to do whatever he wants in the next game. But I'm still going to do that. Wait for the game and then decide who to go for.
Okay.
Definitely Man City players.
I think what you just talked about there just sums up what we've been talking about so far. There's so many options, and there's so much information that we're waiting as each match goes. And yeah, trying to get that rotation right. is so hard to nail down, especially with Pep. But yeah, it sounds much more interesting than my move of getting a Rashford in. Lee, I'm just going to go through your team and then you can tell me what you do. I know you've already made a move. So you've got Patricio in goal. Good move, by the way. Alexander-Arnold and Gomez. There's that defensive double up. Doherty and Taylor in a 4-3-3. That's a really good back line. Okay, Salah captain, De Bruyne, Fernandes with an S, and then up front you've got Rashford, Calvert-Lewin, and Jimenez. And on your bench you have Button, Sarr, Saka, and Stevens. And I understand that Sarr has already gone for Pulisic, who I presume is going to play. Who makes way for Pulisic in your 11?
Yeah, so I guess unlike Andy, it sounds like Andy, you've got quite a bit of thinking still to do. My thinking's done. I saw enough of Pulisic in that West Ham game, despite Chelsea not getting the result. Clearly, he did well out of the FPL points, and he's just come back with a spring in his step. I don't know what happened to him over the break. Maybe he was not having the crowds there and the pressure. I don't know, but something's different about him, and he's getting on the ball far more often, and he's ghosting into those areas that you want to see him in as an FPL manager in a very Lampard-esque way, by the way. So I don't know whether that's something they've worked on. I don't know, arriving late into the box. So Sarr has gone. I've transferred out Sarr for Pulisic. Had to do it last night, otherwise I've been 0.1 out because I think either Sarr went down or Pulisic went up, or maybe even both. But anyway, the markets dictated that I needed to do that last night. So Calvert-Lewin drops to the bench now. Ooh. So he's my first sub right now. Pulisic comes in. So that graphic that you've got on the screen, I'm afraid, apologies, that is already out of date. The back four is still the same, but now the midfield is Salah, De Bruyne, Fernandes and Pulisic with Rashford and Jimenez up front. Just a couple of quick points about the captaincy. My bus team has got it on Salah right now. I'm going to see whether he's in that kind of selfish golden boot mode tonight. And as captaincy tonight, obviously, I hope that he is. But listen, I watched that Bournemouth performance last night, and I just can't. I don't think you can not captain a Man United asset next week. If Bournemouth turn up and play like they did against Newcastle, they will get ripped to shreds against Man U at Old Trafford. So I think my captaincy is going to change. It just depends, like Andy. Do I go Fernandes or do I go Rashford? I'm leaning towards Fernandes right now. And just a quick shout for that Liverpool double up. Yeah, I've had Gomez for a while now. And as Andy was saying, the Liverpool double up in defence does look good. If your budget can't stretch to a Van Dijk or Robertson, do have a look at Gomez. He's 5'2", maybe 5'3" in the game. Matip is now out for the season, so Gomez looks pretty locked. Now, Klopp will probably want to give some of the younger centre-halves like Sepp van den Berg, and we've got a young player called Hoever as well. You want to give those teenagers a bit of time, but what he'll probably do is bring Gomez off on 65, 70, the clean sheet already locked in. And let's face it, with Gomez, your ceiling's 6 anyway, so what do you care? So then he can give the youngsters a bit of time, sort of 10, 15 minutes. So I think Gomez is a really nice pick between now and the end of the season from a budget perspective, as well as getting those 6-pointers locked in. So that's my team. I'm pretty happy with it. Could be a points hit potentially, but then if I look at that, and the points hit would be for another Manchester United player, I think. But if I look at my team, I think I'm quite happy with it. So I only really ever take a points hit if I look at my 11 and go, oh, I hate that. And at the minute, I don't hate it.
No,
so
I think it's
that's
good.
What I'm going to
I like it.
with.
I like the back line a lot. And I think this is something that free hitters might note, that this could be a good week for a 4-4-2. Because you do have a lot of favourable matches for defenders there. And of course you've got a lot of choice in midfield, and that 4-4-2 also enables you to get loads to really pack it with a lot of good players, and because you've got that defender rather than an attacker, you're saving a bit of money that way. Well, that's the theory, but yeah.